I never thought we would ever see the day where a movie would generate more drama than Don't Worry Darling, but I have to say, I think It Ends With Us has it beat. The movie only came out, what, a few days ago, and there's already been so much controversy surrounding every single aspect of this film. From co-stars unfollowing each other, shady interviews, and extreme criticism on how this film is being misrepresented, specifically by Blake Lively. It's a mess, so let's get into it. If you're on TikTok, you've probably seen the footage of It Ends With Us being filmed all around New Jersey, and ever since then, it's been non-stop controversy surrounding it. From people not loving the outfit choices, people not loving the casting choices. It's been pretty messy from the start, and that theme is sticking around going into release week. Now, for those of you who don't know, It Ends With Us is a book by Colleen Hoover, and it found major success thanks to TikTok. You can't even walk into an Indigo's or Chapters without seeing this book front and center on some book talk rack.
Guys, I took my girlfriend book shopping at Target and I asked her why all these books were backwards on the shelf. It's Colleen Hoover. And she said, ask TikTok, what is going on? Why are they backwards? Someone tell me.
Now, if you don't know who Colleen Hoover is and you've never read any of her books, you might have picked up this book in the store and thought it was some like teen romance novel, when it's actually quite the opposite. It Ends With Us is about DV, and Colleen Hoover has actually been accused of romanticizing toxic relationships to her younger viewers. Someone on Reddit explained this, and they said, some of her books notably either center or touch on domestic violence and abusive or toxic relationships. Given they're primarily romance novels, some of these have been accused of romanticizing abusive relationships or allowing for plot lines that quickly move past to focus on forgiveness or moving on. I personally never read It Ends With Us, so I went into this with no expectations besides maybe thinking it was some like cutesy rom-com movie, when like I said, it's actually quite the opposite. Unfortunately, the promo for this movie has been doing a very poor job of making it clear what this movie was about, and instead have made it sound so much more lighthearted. The cast has been doing promo all week long, and some of them have been handling it better than others. Director and star Justin Baldoni sat down with CBS Mornings and talked about the very serious discussions in this movie and what his hopes are for people, more specifically men, who may watch it.
As a man, I'm always going to come with my own biases, and it's one of the reasons I was afraid to direct this movie, let alone act in it. And I wanted to make sure this film always had a female gaze, and I was never putting myself into it. But one of the things that I think is very easy to say, especially for us men, is when we maybe talk to somebody who's in this situation, or we read a book, or we hear a news story, the question that's always asked is, why did she stay? And that's the wrong question.
Yeah.
What we need to be asking ourselves is, why do men harm?
Yes.
And that was the big thing for me. And what I've learned more and more and more of is, like, you know, these women who experience this every single day, there's real love there. You know, there's charm, there's charisma, there's passion, there's this belief that they can be better. And it's not so simple. So our friends at Know More, I'm wearing their pin right now, they were the ones who really worked with me to help me make this film as truthful as possible.
And people in the comments of this video were actually shocked to hear someone finally bring up the DV portrayed in this movie. One person said, "This is the first time I've heard anyone on the cast talk about the DV in this movie." With another person writing, "He is the only person bringing awareness to the actual topic and issue." Blake Lively has also been doing press all week long, and she's definitely taken a different approach when asked very similar questions.
Most of us, if we're lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public, we only have a few moments to maybe speak with you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people, and they're going to want to tell you about their life. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you, and then we could I'm just curious
just
about
social security number.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm like, are we talking logistics? Are we talking emotionally?
And even when she's asked directly to comment on the DV in the film, she still somehow manages to talk her way out of giving any kind of answer with actual substance.
So a lot of survivors of generational and domestic are going to see this film. I'm curious, what is the message that you hope that they take away from it?
I think that you are so much, and not to minimize it anyway, but you're so much more than just a survivor or just a victim. Well, that is a huge thing. You are a person of multitudes, and what someone has done to you doesn't define you. You define you, and what you have in you and what you're capable of and what you have done and are doing and will do is so much bigger than anything anyone else can do to you. And I think that is that feels like it is so empowering and rooting and grounding. And I hope that people see that, because this is a story that covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence. It's about this woman.
Now, something else you may have noticed from these clips is the lack of press interviews containing all the main stars in one room. We never see Blake with Justin, we never see Justin with Colleen Hoover. They're very much always split up, which has fans thinking something may be going on between the cast. Only a few months ago, Colleen Hoover had no problem being seen with Justin, and now they couldn't be further apart. Colleen has done press with Blake, who is also a main star and a producer for the film, but Justin is missing from all of them, which is pretty disappointing since he seems to be the only person that's capable of talking about the actual issues in this movie. The Hollywood Reporter actually covered this alleged rift, and it sounds like there may be some evidence to back up the rumors. They wrote, "Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that there was a fracture among the filmmakers in the post-production process wherein two different cuts of the movie emerged. The It Ends With Us sleuthing on TikTok stemmed from Baldoni's notable absence from joint press events, the lack of group photos of Lively and Baldoni together at Tuesday's New York premiere, and the fact that neither Lively, Hoover, nor the rest of the cast follow Baldoni on Instagram, though he follows them. This raised eyebrows as during the development of the movie, Hoover and Baldoni appeared together on each other's Instagrams multiple times. But despite this potential rift in the cast, Justin has remained very professional and has publicly said nothing but nice things about Colleen, Blake, and the rest of his cast.
I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. She's a producer on the film from the beginning to the end. She was extremely involved, and she really made the film better. And there were many instances where I honestly just tried to get out of the way and let her take the lead, and especially when it came to intimacy and all of that, like, she had a very clear vision.
But now it's being reported that Justin has since seeked out Crisis PR and is using the same person that also represented Johnny Depp during the Amber Heard trial. So it looks like he knows that all the press surrounding this film and all the negative discourse coming out about how Blake has been handling herself isn't a good look for his film, especially since people in the industry are starting to speak out about their negative experiences with Blake Lively. A few days ago, a reporter re-uploaded an old interview that she'd done with Blake back in 2016, and she titled it, "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." And just a fair warning here, this is a hard watch.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it
Okay.
out.
Thank you, thank you.
Are
You
you
like the
saying-
movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love little Jesse's
He has
suits
some
and
beautiful.
how
That's what I'm
he
saying. His
chose
wardrobe
it.
was
Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know,
gorgeous.
he's
Those
so
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I would wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like
know.
that still.
Me too.
Or the father with his tank top in
Oh,
bed.
it's so
Just
good.
it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You could
the,
feel
the
it.
table?
It's almost like she was trying to make the interviewer come across sexist or shallow for asking questions about wardrobe or congratulating her on her pregnancy when there's literally nothing wrong with what she asked. One of the top comments also pointed out how hypocritical Blake now looks after her It Ends With Us press tour. They wrote, "Blake offended by clothing question in this interview. Blake during It Ends With Us question about DV. Go watch the movie with your girls, wear your florals."
Well, I just really love romance, and I love it as an audience member, and I love it in my real life, and I just really believe in romance. I think that Baz Luhrmann and I are probably the two people who love romance more than anyone ever.
And the mess with this movie doesn't even stop there. People are also accusing Blake and her husband Ryan Reynolds of trying to turn It Ends With Us into a whole Barbie Oppenheimer moment. Deadpool and Wolverine came out at the end of July, Ryan Reynolds is in it, and the way that they've been going about doing press for this movie very much feels like them trying their hardest to recreate that moment. Ryan even posted a video of him crashing a press junket for It Ends With Us.
Thank you, Brandon. I love the movie.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Oh, God.
This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to
interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Dive in, shall we? So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry, what do you call her? Do you guys have a nickname or something? Okay, no, just so it's Mrs. Okay. Anyway, I saw this photo. It was pretty suggestive. So I got it right here. I'm gonna get right to it. How do you explain that?
And Blake then reposted this clip on her own Instagram, and it just goes to show you how filtered his YouTube comment section is, because the comments on her Instagram were not holding back. We had people writing, "It seems strange to do a skit about a jealous husband while promoting a film about a jealous husband. Great marketing tactic. Wrong movie. Read the room. You had a real chance to address issues affecting so many when it comes to DV. You had the opportunity to turn this into a beautiful thing for women who suffer every day. Shame on you and your PR team for turning a blind eye. The marketing around this movie is so odd. Justin Baldoni is the only person putting the message first and not advertising florals in their hair product brands, for God's sake." Which is another thing Blake is receiving backlash for. A lot of comments are also accusing her of caring more about promoting her new hair care line instead of spreading awareness about DV and actually taking the topic seriously. One person wrote, "Disgusting that you're using a film about DV to dress pretty and sell your new products. As a woman, it should embarrass you that the only person talking about the real issue of this movie is the director. A man. Justice for Justin." And now a lot of comments are saying that Blake is in her JLo era and even congratulating her on out JLoing JLo. All I know is this whole release seems like such a headache, and now it's so clear why Justin went ahead and hired that crisis PR. I don't think any of the negative feedback is reflecting back onto him. Most of the comments seem to be pretty positive towards him, but still. All this negative discourse surrounding Blake can't be good for the film unless they're gonna look at it as like there's no such thing as bad press. I truly never thought a movie would ever outdo Don't Worry Darling when it comes to drama, but here we are. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.